on 5RM.
It has been a massive day on the sideline view. Let's go straight to Renmark because they are already coming out onto the oval. I've heard in the background the siren Lachlan Winnerton. Lachlan, Dan, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, thank you, Trevor Scott. Good afternoon to you. And what a big day it has been in Renmark already for your good self, Trev, as well as the entire Riverland community. And it's a continuation of that this afternoon here at the Renmark Oval. Great to see Riverland footy round 15. We love it, don't we?
You do.
Hey, Lockie Dan's with me this afternoon. LD, good afternoon to you.
I'm good. How are you? And it's great to be here. It's a huge game. We know they want to enter into the final series with winning form. So one last tune-up or before next weekend's final round is exactly what the doctor ordered, I think, for both of these sides.
Absolutely. Now, both of these sides are locked in for finals. A little bit of a different tale how they've got there. The Rovers, we know, in recent times, one of the strongest sides. They are sitting in the top two, currently top actually, on the percentage, whereas the Loxton Tigers, they've locked in their final spot. They dismissed Loxton North's slim chances of stealing that last week, and they are finals bound, locked into that first semi-final between third and fourth.
Yeah, and it's good for the Tigers to be back there. They missed the finals last year, of course. They also have the unwanted, I guess you could call it, statistic of the longest A-grade premiership drought dating back to 2006. So they're going to want to firstly break that, but I think it's good for them. And we probably knew in real terms that they were going to make it from probably that midway point of the year, that Loxton were always going to be a fancy. And they've struggled with health throughout the year, but they've managed to get themselves here. And yeah, now they can really kick on.
Absolutely. A couple of changes to note in both sides. The Renmark Rovers are late out in Brodie Rover. Matt Smith stays in the side. Originally was out of the side for today, but he has kept his spot. So great to see for Matt Smith in the side this afternoon, and a couple of other Rovers that have dropped out of the side from last week, and that is Bailey and Lucas White that are playing at West Adelaide Under-18s. So a couple of big outs. West Adelaide Under-18s got 2 games to go, including one this weekend. So there's quite the assortment of players that's set to come back, both here at Renmark and also Palmer and Monash in particular.
Yeah, and it's great to see them back when of course, they've got, I guess you could call it, bigger fish to fry to an extent with their West Adelaide duties, but it's great to have them back in the Riverland when we can get them back, and they certainly make their presence felt when they're here. Absolutely.
Loxton have made a couple of changes as well. Just having a quick look through my notes here. This morning, Adam Proud out of the side. Now, he has been a big in recent weeks and certainly given the Tigers quite the target up forward, so he's going to be a big out. Luke Stanovich is in the side for him this afternoon. And a couple of other Loxton players were out as well. I'll just refer back to a couple of scribbles here, Lockie, while we go through what is game's not that far underway. Players will be taking their spot pretty soon. Also in for Loxton today, Ryder Montgomery, Josh Marlaw and Nick Katsidis out. Some big outs from last week for Loxton. Shay Lange, Drew Kasolki and Ben Yeomans. There are a couple of big outs there, Lockie Dan.
They are. None more probably so, you would say, than Shay Lange across half-back. Such an important player for them in the back lines. I'm not sure who's actually won the toss on this occasion. I couldn't really tell who pointed what way. I think, if I had to guess, Loxton are kicking to what we would call probably the playground end?
The town end. We'll soon know, depending on where players line up this afternoon, which end each team is going to. A glorious afternoon here at Renmark. 20 degrees currently the temperature. Not a skerrick of breath to talk about. This is Riverland spring/summer at its finest, and the good news is we're getting it in winter.
That's right. I don't think you could ask for any better football conditions today. And if someone told you this is the middle of winter, if you'd come from some sort of alternate reality, I don't reckon you'd believe them. So,
no.
It's great to have this weather, and good, because a lot of the supporters have come out here today at Renmark Oval for both sides. So, good representation there too.
Absolutely. Just a couple of ins too for Renmark that I failed to mention before. Liam Jackson, Nathan Zunic and Anspatch Jack, that is back into the side today. So 3 big ins for the Rovers. Although they've lost Bailey and Lucas White, they've certainly found suitable replacements for this week's team. So Renmark not far off full strength realistically.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going to tip them today. I just think they're just humming beautifully at the moment. To a better word, they're just in really good form, and I think good form is your best form in football, and that's exactly what they're in at the moment. So, yeah, they're hard to stop when they get going.
Absolutely. The Loxton Tigers, look, a chance for them to, send a bit of a message to the competition and Renmark for that matter, because, as we know, the Tigers have had the wood over the Rovers this year, which, if you run through the algorithms or logarithms or whatever you'd like to call of the season thus far and work out who should have beaten who, where and when, there's a couple of abnormalities, and those are probably 2 wins for Loxton against Renmark.
That's right, yeah. Loxton, I actually think maybe other than Barmah Monash, which Renmark and Barmah Monash is always a tough game to split at the moment, but I think Loxton could probably be the team that match up on Renmark better than anyone else in the competition. So they'll back themselves into it today, and they'll know that they've got that good form. They won here last year too, which we should know as well.
Just looking in the middle, ball about to be put up in the air. Umpire Tony Florence officiating in the middle to start the game. Ruckman, Braden DePrince and Zach Gartery ready to do battle. That's going to be an interesting dynamic this afternoon. Just looking around the ground at some of the other matchups, of course. We've got a couple of young chargers in the mix for our Young Charger Award this afternoon. We'll keep an eye on that. Loxton, probably a couple more than Renmark when it comes to junior talents. There it is, siren sounds, and we are underway here in round 15. Riverland football on 5RM. That's a big throw up, but it's DePrince from Loxton that gets the tap, but Rowe from Renmark read it well and bombed it towards the forward 50. Tries to get the second effort, but Loxton managed to regather on half-back. Couple of controlled kicks, and they take the footy wide. It's hit the deck and bounced forward. Renmark now with the intercepts. Can they make something of this? They're still on half-forward and looking hungry for the ball. Over the painted 50, the ball goes looking for a target. Tapped forward. I reckon AJ Hem's going to try and run onto this one. Fancies a goal, turns back inboard. Hits the deck, gets a leg away. It's a small one. Loxton try to gather this up in defence. Can they move it out? They're under attack. A big tackle from Alex Haynes, but it's going to be Loxton with the free kick. Lockie Dand.
Yep, Bailey Bougen in the back line. Got one too high on Alex Haynes there. Renmark are kicking to the town end. So Bailey Bougen's spinning the ball out wide, and he's found a teammate deep in the back line. He brings it back towards Bailey Bougen. So a couple of early touches for him. He fans it across to Luke Salmon.
Yeah, that is Salmon on half-back. Kicks straight up the line now going through the centre square. Got Rogan Kennedy now with the footy, one of the young stars of this Tiger side. Brings it wide, now grandstand side. Ross Romeo with the footy. Some good controlled passage here from Loxton, not wasting the time and saying that. Now it's hit the deck, and there's a few too many Rovers for this one, and they were able to get this one out. A couple of quick handballs. Rowe was held onto out of the pack. Umpires looking for a free kick, but it wasn't called, and we'll get a ball up. LD.
Yes, I think he might have been a bit stiff there, Jared Rowe, but back in the ruck here. Prince got the first hand to it. Jesse Will, the Tigers captain, now onto the left foot, down the line, over the head of Ross Romeo. Harry Beavis unable to control it, and it's over the line for a boundary throw. And just noticing that full forward for Loxton too, Luke Harder up there, had a great year, so that'll be a match-up to watch today when that ball goes in deep.
For me, Loxton are a lot more dangerous when he's in the forward 50. I know he goes in the middle a bit, but for me, Loxton's strongest side is him in the forward 50. Ball now back inboard, fighting for the footy. Still no team yet to score. Loxton trying to pick this one up the deck. Renmark have a crack at it as well. They all dive on it. And I reckon that might be on the bottom of the pack there, young Ryder Montgomery. So a ball up. Grandstand side, Renmark over, Riverland footy on 5RM. Gartry read it well, got a handball out quickly. Now, can Renmark make something out of this across half-back? Here's Matt Wolford. Gives himself a bit of time, finds Tim Wolford, plays on over the cricket pitch, takes a bounce. Now looks up to the attacking 50, looking for Haynes, the target. Got a hand on it, but it dropped out of his hands. And it's going to be a free kick here for a push in the back.
Yeah, I think it's going the way of Alex Haynes. That was beautiful movement by Renmark. Started with Matt Wolford across half-back there. And, I think this game is going to be really a case of how long can Loxton control possession of the ball and just really look after it, because Renmark can be so damaging the way they move the ball, as we saw on that occasion. And Haynes is going to kick from, I reckon, about 52 metres here. He's getting some instructions from Matt and Dan Wolford, and it looks like he's coming from the ground. He might have a bit of a blood rule, perhaps.
He's holding his arm. I think it might be his thumb. So Alex Haynes is coming from the ground. He is running off, so
I'm not sure who's taking the kick here. I think it might be Dan Wolford, who wants the pass, and he's found Declan Johnson, who couldn't quite take the mark in the end.
Yeah, some fun on impact, but now Tim Wolford picks up the crumbs, looks over and finds Rhett Perry. And he'll go back for a shot on goal, somewhat closer than the kick before. So Renmark still with the footy there, attacking 50. Just over 4 minutes gone. First quarter Riverland footy on 5RM. Saw Alex Haynes going into the change rooms there for some treatment. So a kick on the way, 45-degree angle. It's got the journey, and that's the first goal of the day to the Renmark Rovers. And when you kick the first goal of the day, you are the clubhouse leader of the Berry Better Goal of the Day award.
That's right. And yes, we did see Alex Haynes coming off there with that arm, and he sort of just had it outstretched, but there wasn't a lot of movement on that arm. So that's going to be one to watch. That could be a huge, that could have huge ramifications towards the final series if he's going to be out for some time. But yeah, we'll wait and see how that unfolds, not only throughout the rest of today, but throughout the rest of the week.
Look, I don't want to speculate what that may or may not have been, but if that was a dislocation, he has got one of the highest pain thresholds I've ever seen, because it did not look anything like it. Anyway, I don't want to speculate, but we'll try and keep track of this one. But he did go off the ground.
Loxton have won a free in the middle of the ground here.
From my very basic medical knowledge, I don't think it was a dislocation.
All right, well, we'll take that for now. Well, that's all we can run with. But Luke Salmon's found a target here in Jacob Evans, who's had a pretty good year. The Tigers youngster, as Renmark have intercepted here. They're up towards half forward. Declan Johnson's running after it after that 5-goal haul last week. That's a brilliant mark across half back from Brock Salmon. Packed himself in. Jumped up high and took a nice chest mark. So down the line, looking for Braden de Prince. Oh, coming across Gardery. That's terrific. Brilliant mark. Just showing his athleticism there. Looking for Tim Wolford in the centre of Renmark Oval. He's got it now, and he's up towards half forward, and it's towards the contest. It's belted away. Josh Vader ran after it. Came to Zunic. He's caught. Got it to Vader. Vader found a way through and kicks towards inside 50, but that's a great mark going back. And I think that's Ryder Montgomery again.
Yeah, that's a very courageous mark, and they've gone on the switch straight away. It dropped short, but Loxton should be able to mop this one up. Oh, no, they can't. Declan Johnson, check side from the pocket.
It's touched.
That would have been goal of the day, but it's behind. I think he knew it was. He was a bit frustrated when he kicked it, but it was a good effort for young Decky Johnson there. Renmark now take the score out to 1-1. They lead by 7. 6.5 gone first quarter.
Loxton bringing the ball across half-back now. Bounce towards Rogan Kennedy. He's caught by Jared Rowe. What's the decision? That's holding the ball. Renmark have taken advantage. Ricky Garrett across the face has found Nathan Zunic, and he'll line up from about 15 out, almost directly in front of goal.
Great bit of play from the Rovers. Jared Rowe, 250 games a couple of weeks back for the Rovers. Multiple premiership player. Yeah, still putting in the hard yards, which is great to see.
Been a star through the midfield for a long period of time. You'd think Nathan Zunic will be able to kick this goal. Comes in, 15 out. No problems at all. Renmark have the first two.
Nathan Zunic, great goal for the Rovers. They take the score out to 13. And Loxton yet to score. 7.5 gone. First quarter Riverland footy on 5RM for the Riverland Motor Group. You can check out the GT Sportage Diesel. It's in stock now for immediate delivery. Riverland, Kia, East Terrace, Loxton. Lockie Dan, just looking at some of the matchups around the place. Loxton, other than that controlled footy early we saw, really looking a little bit slow to the ball.
Yeah, they are. Renmark are just, as you say, they're just quicker with the ball. Loxton are trying to get something happening through the middle of the ground. That's where they clearly seem to see this one. And they've got Rogan Kennedy, they've got Caden Evans in there with Jesse Wu as well. So they're seeing that as the engine room, and they need to get something going through the midfield as the Prince taps down. Kennedy ran past it but got back onto the footy. That was well played. Handball out in a space. And he's found a target in Josh Marlaw, who heads upfield but only as far as Tim Wolford, who started this game really well, to Matt Wolford. This is almost a carbon copy of the way Renmark headed towards their first goal. Across the ground now. They've found a target. Can they head inside 50? It just sort of stops and props.
Yeah, it's Matt Smith through the middle.
Wants to go back to Tim Wolford. Hands on. Inside 50. Caught one after he kicked it. That might be a downfield free.
And both sides having a bit of a chat about it. Dan Wolford's back up off the deck, but...
It was Tristan Jackson, I think, that caught him. Yeah.
You can hear the Renmark Rovers supporters not really impressed.
In the end, it's going to be Rhett Perry who can line up for his second of the day, and he's in probably a similar position to where he kicked that first goal from here, Lockie.
Yeah, it's almost a carbon copy of something we saw 5 minutes ago now. So all is good behind the play now. Rhett Perry has his shot. Ball's on the way. He's given it a fair roost. It's bending. Umpire says behind.
He shaped up like he was going to pay that for a goal, the goal umpire down there. So
that's what we like. On the Value Care scoreboard, Renmark now out to 14. Loxton yet to score. Loxton have the kick out. There's a few more Rovers that are hungry for the ball across their half forward, however, and they get it out to Steve Cowlon. Handball over to Mitch Jenke. Back. Oh, great bit of play there from the Loxton player and Luke Stanovich, but it's Renmark that go on the attack again inside the 50 to the hot spot. Loxton through Luke Harder. That's a big mark, and he'll just hold station for a sec.
Yeah, I think the Loxton playing coach has put himself sort of in the midfield now. Loxton, they just can't seem to get anything going at the moment. Harder's got it again now. Over to Rogan Kennedy. He found a way through. He started this game okay. Heads it out wide. Loxton just controlling the ball across half-back. That's what they've got to do to try and get back into this game. 2-2-14 playing no score. Out wide now. And I think it's found James Bougen on the outer side of Renmark Oval here, just towards the scoreboard.
Yeah, Bailey Bougen before. Probably one of Loxton's best so far. Kick up the line. It's hit the deck. Wolford ×2. Couple of quick handballs. Loxton trying to get the intercept. Renmark dive on it. Loxton the hungry. Rogan Kennedy again. He's also a pretty hungry Tiger this afternoon. And we'll get a ball up on the far wing.
Yeah, I just think, if Loxton can just need to build up a bit of play, just get their hands on it a bit. There's a few that, they just sort of haven't seen a lot of the football at this point. As the Prince taps down, Rowe and Harder go after it. Ball coming loose. Loxton getting out wide now to Josh Marlaw. He heads inside 50. Renmark should be able to chop this off. They've got the extra number. No mark taken, though. Tigers trying to corral the Rovers on this occasion. They can't quite do so. Comes now to Vader. Over to Blight. And Tim Blight's taken a bounce. Rare for him at times. Matt Wolford now to Mitch Jenke. Jenke hands it over the top. Rowe slipped but was able to recover. He's now got it. He heads inside 50 and he has just overcooked the kick towards Perry. Loxton, can they figure out a way in this back line? They can. Rogan Kennedy over to Harder. He's under pressure, but he found Carter right. His kick was smothered, though. This is good play by the Rovers. Matt Smith was after it. He's the late inclusion. He got a handball over to Beavis. Over the top now. Renmark trying to move the footy, and they get it away to Thorpe. He dropped the footy, but got back onto it. Hands to Guttery. From 48, drives it long, and Nick Gillard's underneath it, and can't quite take the mark through for a minor score.
Takes the score out to 15 on the Value Care scoreboard, to my calculations.
Yeah,
Loxton yet to score. So Loxton with the kick in. To Prince now, somewhat the target up forward. Harder on half-back, good mark for the Tigers, the coach. Number 17.
It's just potential this Renmark Oval is a bit slippery. There's a few players slipping over just as they go to take possession of the footy. Harder, another one there.
Loxton now through Ruthie up to half forward. But this is where the Rovers look dangerous. Loxton can get it to half forward, not too bad, but it's now they need to work out a way to get through that wall. They go over the top. I reckon that was Bailey Bougen that gave it a roost. Over the back, can Loxton get their first of the day? Running onto it. They can. That's Jesse Will, and that's the first goal of the day for the Loxton Tigers. They bring the margin back down to 9. Desperately needed it. 13 minutes gone. First quarter Riverland footy on 5RM for the Riverland Motor Group.
Yeah, I think that was a contender for the very better goal of the day as well. You said how the Tigers are going to break down this wall. In the end, they just essentially just went over the top of it and just bombed it in long. Get the ball over the top, and Jesse Will runs into a nice open goal, and you're not going to kick many easier than that.
Just on the surface before, some frosty mornings of late, it's almost cooked the grass on the top, and it's quite yellow in spots and also quite bare in patches as well. So I can understand how that would be a little bit slippery.
Yeah, I just have noticed that Jared Rowe was another one that that fell over. The ball's a bit slippery. We've noticed a few fumbles from the likes of some players as well. So it's going to be one to keep an eye on. Could be a big factor in this game if you slip over at the wrong time.
Yeah, and just on that, no breeze to speak of whatsoever. A couple of seagulls a bit lost. The ocean's a long way from Renmark. Anyway, it's Loxton with the footy now. They bring the ball to the grandstand wing, but it's going to be Dan Walford that manages to run onto it. Evans chased him hard, put him under pressure, and that's fumbled out of bounds. That's probably not a bad out for the Loxton Tigers there. Caden Evans, that was.
Yeah, he actually, that ball rolled about 15 metres further after he kicked it, so he's actually gained a bit of territory there, but that ball's going to be cut off by Ricky Garrett on that occasion, so it's just in front of the interchange gates here. Short ball to Dan Walford, who's had a lot of this ball in this first quarter already, as he often does. Heads over to Matt Walford. Back to Ricky Garrett now. That's good run through the middle of the ground, and he heads up forward to Rhett Perry, who is creating a serious problem for this Tigers defence.
I think the Rovers have found a new key forward. Rhett Perry, the main target. There's already some good marks and a goal and a behind so far. He's going to kick straight in front. What would you say? Kicking from 35 out?
Yeah, about 35, 40 out. Depends where he lets go from. He's giving it a fair strike. And the Rover supporters are pretty happy with that. And why wouldn't they be? They've got the first. Well, they've got three. And they lead 3-3-21 to 1 straight 6.
There it is, the margin back out to 15 on the Value Care scoreboard. This is 5RM footy for the Riverland Motor Group and the Kia Sportage now in hybrid. Check it out, Riverland Kia, East Terrace, Loxton, 15.5 gone. Renmark going through their rotations as always. Loxton, I did see a couple of changes before, but not the systematic rotations that we see with Renmark as well as a couple of other sides in the competition.
Yeah, just Matt Walford's really impressed me in this first quarter. He's the one that's been getting them going across halfback. He's been the link in the chain. He's got his run and carry going, and he looks to be pretty dangerous here.
So Loxton now unable to get this clearance. They try and mop it up half-back, but it's Zunic on half-forward, kicks over the paint at 50, looks for a target. It was spoiled forward from Loxton. They're going to have to work hard here to keep this one out. Bringing it back in board, that was Salmon. Handballs backwards, gives it a roost. Montgomery's the target underneath, but bumped out the way by Matt Walford. Gets it on quickly, hits the deck. Loxton might be able to get this one out if they're quick, if they're able to move this one through. Just watching what's going on here, that was James Bowden. Bringing it back in board, a dangerous kick, but it's found Luke Harder on half-back. And he's spotted up right of Montgomery, and that's a good mark. It spilled out, but he had it for long enough that it was paid, and it's probably there. So Montgomery inboard finds Salmon. Luke gets it on quickly. Now they take this one to half forward, but it's the Renmark Rovers again on half back that managed to pick it up and gets a kick away. He was handled late there. Is that going to be a free kick downfield? It is.
He just got slung right after he kicked that ball. I mean, yeah, umpires not going to pay many easy decisions than that. So Nick Gillard's now got this ball. He's a long way from home, centre of the oval. So he heads inside 50, and Nathan Zunic takes a strong mark out in front. Wheels around, runs to 50. Looking for Liam Jackson's down there. Rhett Perry had it belted away from him. Luke Harder chases after it. I think he was probably held on to, but the umpire's not going to pay it, and we'll have the ball up.
Yes, Stuart Green for the Tigers, who's their key defender today. He's doing all right. He's probably cut out a couple of marks that maybe might have been taken other days. He's going to be working hard this afternoon. Gartree through the ruck, couldn't tap it that far, and we'll get another ball up. Still inside, Renmark's attacking 50.
Bit of feeling in this one, I'm noticing. Just a couple of slings off the ball, a couple of off-the-ball hits, so wonder what's out the day, and the umpires won't be afraid to pull out the yellow card when they need to.
Two of the oldest clubs in the competition. And uncannily, very close on the amount of premierships they both have, just quietly.
Okay.
So any stats followers out there?
A bit more at stake, perhaps. They know each other. They know the game styles of each other. So
bit of feeling there with Gartree at the ruck as well as DePrids, but it sort of they almost just ran into each other and didn't go too far.
Yeah, it's on again here. Matt Walford not happy with Jacob Evans here. So, yeah, they're just sort of sorting themselves out. Ball coming loose. Dan Walford put his head over it and was caught pretty well straight away. So yet another ball up. Ball not moving too far on that occasion. Gets set to go again. Carter Wright's doing the ruck work at the moment. Got the tap. Rowe got the kick away from the pack. Bouncing ball. Stuart Green, I think it was, ran over that. And Bougen able to recover. Over the head. Loxton down the line here. And, that's fallen over the head of the Loxton player onto the foot of Matt Wolford, and that's going to be out of play, and it's going to be a Loxton free kick. There's not a lot Matt Wolford can do in that situation.
Just unlucky. Just unlucky. He's disappointed in himself, but there really was nothing he could have done. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, there really is nothing you can do on that occasion other than maybe have your feet disappear. So Loxton down the line here looking for Luke Harder, might be the target. Unable to take the mark. Rowe went after it, but ball over the line. We'll have a ball in right in front of the interchange gates here.
Yeah, got 3-21 leading the Loxton Tigers, just the one goal. The Rovers with a 15-point margin as we get a bit closer to the 20-minute mark of the first quarter. Matt Wolford coming off for a bit of a rest. Inboard. Now it's Tim Wolford. Big kick into the 50, looking for a target. Spoiled forward from Loxton. They're working over. Heimer wrapped up, and we'll get a ball up, 15 out from the Rovers goal. So a ball up. Loxton can't afford to leak another goal here. They go on the clearance, but it was handballed straight out to Nathan Zunic from Renmark, who bombed it towards the goals. Ambitious, you'd say?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the absolute correct word on that occasion. Just a flying snap out of the pack, but from the
you know what? Didn't have many other options though. You can't have a go at a player for doing that.
No, you can't. And I think every coach in the league would prefer if their players had shots on goal, and that's exactly what he did. So
yeah,
I think he's just loving being back out there after that. He had a bit of an injury layoff earlier in the year with that. I think it was a shoulder injury. He picked up in the Gil Lehman Cup as Tim Wolford's got the ball now. AJ Hem's come straight off the bench here. It's not going to make it towards him, but Renmark have the numbers. Edwards goes after it. He's caught. Ball coming loose. Renmark through the middle. They get the handball out to Garter, who just whacks it on the boot. And it's rolled towards the back. Cale Smith comes after it. Should be able to mop it up. Goes one way, then the other. Hands it over to Salmon, who's had a lot of the ball in this first quarter. And he's unable to find a target out. It's going to be a free kick for the Tigers on this occasion in the back 50.
Jesse Will went to get it on quickly. The umpire said, no, free kick. It can't be a play on advantage. You take that one back.
I'm sure he'd be happy to have another disposal and have another kick as he comes out of the back half. Well picked up by Braden DePrince there, but he's caught and the umpire's going to pay holding the ball. It was actually quite a good take from the ruckman there, but caught straight away and didn't quite have the mobility to release the footy. So Jared Rowe, about 60 out from home, drives it long. Not his best kick, and past Gillard, it's going to be out of play.
Just about to say early days, but Jared Rowe could be a Murray Pioneer Man of the Match contender early days.
Yes, he has had a lot of the ball making his presence felt around the ground.
So Loxton with the kick in their back pocket, taking the footy to the scoreboard side, the far wing. They've got a bit of space here. There's a wobbly old kick, drops forward. It was Romeo that tried to pick it up, and he's managed to scuttle that one out of bounds right in front of the scoreboard here at Renmark. This is 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group. East Terrace Loxton. We've got 22 and a half minutes gone, first quarter. It's the Rovers with a 16-point margin.
Yeah, Garter, he got the tap on that occasion. And Loxton trying to find a way through, unable to sort of do so as this first quarter sort of winds down. They're in a similar position to how they scored their first goal, and they're now inside 50, but Renmark strong across half back towards Dan Wolford. Oh, he's got acrobatic with it, but he's managed to reel the ball in. He takes a bounce. He's being chased. He's taken two bounces, got caught as he kicked it, and Luke Harder's able to chop it off. So,
yeah, good pressure from Luke Stanovich there.
Yeah, he just didn't really have any options presenting. Harder's made a sort of a meal of it, but he's managed to get the ball out wide to Bailey Bougen, who's caught by Gillard in a strong tackle, and that's ball up.
Yeah, Bailey Bougen, one of Loxton's best so far. It's 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group. Ball up, grandstand side. It's Dan Wolford that takes Tim that takes the tap. Now it's found Dan. Kick across to Vader. They're going to go through the middle as always. Up to the inside 50 it goes. Rhett Perry, it dropped a bit short, but Declan Johnson runs onto it, kicks to the pocket, and there he is, Jared Rowe. Great mark. This will just about be quarter time, and he's going to go back for a shot. What would you say? 25 out?
Yeah.
Slightest of angles.
Probably 30 out. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt from where he kicks it from. Yeah, look, I think this would be quite a good reward for him if he kicks a goal, because he, as you said just moments ago, he's had an awesome first quarter. So yeah, we'll watch this one as it goes through. So right foot shot is beautifully struck off the boot. Quarter time siren sounds. Jared Rowe has put Renmark out to a 22-point advantage. I think they're 4-4-28. Loxton, 1 straight 6.
This is 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group. We must cross back to the Connectus sideline view studio with Trevor Scott and get the action from around the grounds this afternoon. 2 other big games, Riverland footy, plus another big round of Murray Valley football and netball as well. Trevor Scott, back to you.
There is a fair bit going on, guys. Sounds like... It is all going on just about everywhere at the moment. Got a few updates here for you, Lachlan Winnell. Down at Sedan Cambrai, just looks like 1 point. And Wonka currently 3-5-23, because it's being played at Wonka as well, where the best pizza is. So that's good to see Wonka well ahead, Lachlan Winnell.
Yep, absolutely. Wonka certainly is the food culture capital of the Riverland. Trevor Scott, you cannot go past it. Who would have thought? I mean, some say Rome, others say Wonka when it comes to
Wonka
pizza.
with pizza, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. We're at Renmark. It is round 15, Riverland footy on 5RM. It's the Rovers that have got out to a solid lead early, 4-4-28, leading the Loxton Tigers, just the 1 goal. It was a goal on the siren, basically, to Jared Rowe that slotted that 4th goal. Lockie Dan's with me this afternoon. Lockie, your thoughts? It must be said, Renmark looking pretty good.
They are. They're just moving the ball a lot quicker than Loxton, really. I mean, they like to break the game open with their ball movement, and it sort of starts with Matt Wolford. He seems to be that link in the chain, and I mean, if you want an AFL comparison from a few years ago, think Tom Lynch at the Crows. Just the way he just sort of gets up the ground, and his distribution is really strong as well. And I noticed at quarter time, Loxton doing just looking at the huddles. Loxton were doing a bit of soul searching in their different groups. Luke Harder had a lot of influence over the magnet board, as he should, the playing coach of the Tigers. So, yeah, a bit to play out, but it does sound as though Alex Haynes, his day is done.
Yeah, not good. He was up chatting around and everything, but had the ice pack on his shoulder. So I think he, as you said, is done for this game, and we hope he can come back pretty soon, because he certainly is a very important cog in the Renmark Rovers machine. Second quarter about to get underway. It's going to be Loxton now kicking to the town end. Renmark Rovers will be kicking to the Renmark North/Cooltong end this afternoon for this second quarter. Still no breeze whatsoever. More seagulls rolling in, though, which is great to see. Crowd, you'd say, probably a little bit light on, but as we know, finals are getting close and people are getting busy. Here we are, second quarter, back underway. Riverland footy on 5RM. Spills out. Renmark get a couple of hands on it. Loxton dive to lock this one in, and they managed to do so. Didn't go too far.
Just on Alex Haynes as well. As you said in the first quarter, he's got a high pain threshold because he actually wanted to get up and have a shot from about 45 out. So, yes, he backs himself in as Rowe heads towards half forward for Renmark. AJ Hem was over the top of it, unable to reel the ball in successfully, and we'll have a ball up about 50 out from home for the Rovers.
Yeah, kicking to the Renmark North, or the KM Tucker Hall end. We'll call it that this afternoon. Nobby Norton not with us today. He would be calling it that because he did judging there for the Renmark show for 15 years. And you ask him about it, Lockie Dan, he'll tell you every time how he used to judge at the Renmark show, which is sadly an event not around anymore. Loxton managed to get the clearance away up through the centre of the field. They need a goal. Renmark managed to beat him to the footy. A couple of, chaos balls socked off the deck. Loxton, umpires called a free kick for a front on.
Yeah, a bit too high over the top of Morgan Edwards, who had his head over the footy on that occasion. Was pretty good last week. As well was Morgan Edwards against Loxton North, and he's found Tim Wolford on this occasion. He gets up quickly, wants to use Trevor Thorpe, going 301 for him today. He picks the ball up and heads inside 50. AJ Hem might have been a target on that occasion. Carter Wright came across with the spoil. Gillard picked it up on the left foot and is unable to get it successfully towards goal, and it'll be out on the full.
Yeah, it was a pretty wild old kick. He was sort of getting pushed to the boundary, so probably can't blame him for getting it on the boot as quick as he could, but nonetheless, an opportunity gone begging.
Yeah, that's right. I think Renmark will look to kick, or just trap this ball inside at forward 50 as Tigers bring this ball out there. From where he's kicked it, he's probably given them a 15-metre head start here, the Tigers. So, yeah, they're deep in defence, but yeah, they're looking to move the ball across the back half and down the line kick, looking towards Harley Campbell, who's had a strong year. Well held today so far, and he's found inboard Deegan Roth.
So he's going to go on the switch. Bit of a mirror image of Renmark's play. They've managed to move it on. Oh, a couple of handballs. That's found Tristan Jackson. It's gone to the deck and we'll get a ball up. Harley Campbell, probably very much a contender for the Hoops Auto Young Charger Award this afternoon.
Yeah, Jared Rowe again laying that tackle there. He's just continuing on his merry way of the game he's playing. Trevor Thorpe caught with the ball. Oh, he almost dragged it in there, but managed to get it out. We'll have a ball up. He's very close to being caught holding the ball on that occasion. I actually think he got lucky. I think someone sort of intercepted the ball and might have cost themselves a holding the ball chance. As Garter taps down to Dan Wolford, who gets it away to Thorpe. This is good play by the Rovers. Into Tim Wolford now. He looks up forward, looking for Rhett Perry, and that's a great mark. Deep in the back line, I think. That might have been Stuart Green back there.
Yeah, number 18 for the Tigers, new player this year. Only played a handful of games. Unfortunately injured the first game he played, but then came back, so great to see. The Rovers with the intercept on half-back. Kick into the paint at 50, and intercept from Loxton. They get out of that one. Jacob Evans with the footy. Up the line, dangerous kick, it's hit the deck, and we'll have a ball up. 70 home from Rovers goal.
Yeah, haven't quite had the polish in this quarter. Have Renmark. Might be something to do with going towards that end, because the Tigers definitely had the issue in the first quarter. Ross Romeo is going to win the free here for a push in the back.
Yeah,
going to go against Mitch Jenke on that occasion. So
both players sort of ran over the footy, and
Jenke just landed in his back, really.
Yeah.
He heads across now to Luke Salmon. Not a lot of movement going forward here for the Tigers, but they are working very hard. Up it goes. Stephen Carlon got a spoil in there. Liam Jackson caught by Rogan Kennedy. Rovers, the supporters probably thought it was too high, but the only man whose opinion matters was the umpire, and he says it's ball up.
So ball up, grandstand side. Good tap from Gartery. Finds its way out to Rowe. Goes on the switch and finds Matt Wolford with a bit of space in the centre square. Gets it on quickly, and this is where Renmark are dangerous. Finds Dan Wolford, shakes his opponent, kicks into the attacking 50, looking for Perry. Stuart Green for Loxton manages to get in there first. Get a ball up. So Loxton's defence has certainly tightened this quarter. It's 5 minutes gone. Still yet to concede any points or behinds. Saying that, this could change because there's a hurried kick towards the goals.
A whistle. It's going the way of the Tigers. It's a holding free.
The Tigers in defence with the free. Stuart Green again.
He's playing quite well. I think he's been one of the Tigers' best. And although they are 22 points down, I think without him they'd be about 42 points down. So here's Josh Vader, though. And he heads inboard and he's found AJ Hem. Great kick from Josh Vader. Just lowered the eyes. Could have blazed away. Well within your rights when you're the playing coach of the side, probably more so than anyone else out there to have a shot, but does the team thing, heads inside and finds AJ Hem, who's recently found his way back into the ones. And he should be able to kick this from about 25 out directly in front.
Renmark Rover players doing a couple of quick change-ups here as well while this is going on.
AJ Hem comes in now. Bit of a stutter step. And that's exactly what he needed. He's got the goal. It's the first of the second term. Rovers out to a 28-point advantage.
Yeah, look, Loxton are going to have to work something out soon because, as we know, the Rovers can run away. 28 points on the Value Care scoreboard at this point. 6.5 minutes gone. Second quarter Riverland footy on 5RM. Seeing the change-ups as well. So Renmark also, if you're just joining us, playing one player, one short rotation now as well on the bench. So Alex Haynes injured shoulder in would have been the first probably 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
After getting a shot on goal, and unfortunately couldn't take his shot. He was keen for it as well.
He was, but no, I think the captain of the side, Dan Wolford, said need to go off and get that sorted, and he was the right call there. So yes, ball back in the middle. Luke Harder got the loose handball. Short, unable to find Evans, but he's back onto it and gets it back to Harder via hand. Harder up to half forward. Harley Campbell put his arms up towards the footy, unable to reel it in. And ball did come loose in the end. Loxton laying the tackles, but Renmark finding a way through. Ansbach, who hands the ball out wide, and Renmark up towards half forward yet again with another attack. In a bit of play. AJ Hem ran over the ball. Still Loxton trying to find a way through, but it's the Rovers who emerge with the ball. Zunic now up towards half forward. Can Gillard take a mark? He can. He's got one after it, but he wants to move it quickly because he's found an open Ricky Garrett. It rolls towards Garrett. Easy pick-up and an easy finish from 20 out. No problems at all. Renmark extend the lead to 6-4-40 to 1 straight 6.
Yeah, look, things looking pretty ominous for the Tigers now. I know you'd say it's a nothing game, but if Loxton are going to show they're a contender come finals, they need to show something today. Still, you've got a lot of the parts there to make something happen today, but at this point, unable to link all of those together.
Yeah, and you want to enter the finals in winning form. You don't want to have a big thumping loss in the penultimate round of the home and away season, which is, it seems to be what's happening today so far. Like 34 points down, so look, they're probably not looking at a win at this point in time. Of course, things can very quickly change, but what they'll be looking for is just some strong passages of play, get a few goals on the board and see if they can try and limit Renmark a little bit. It's not the way they usually like to play, but sometimes you do have to adapt as Luke Harder gets the handball out here. Bailey Bougen one way then the other. Short ball picked up by Roth. He's caught, and Renmark just again have the numbers which they've had all afternoon so far. Mitch Jenke over to Matt Wolford. Went one way then the other. Then went by a hand to Morgan Edwards, who heads towards half forward. Unable to be embarked by Gillard. Ball towards the back. Loxton they almost trapped it in, but were unable to do so in the end. Gillard hands to Rowe. Over the top, AJ Hem has drilled it from the pocket. That's a brilliant finish. Renmark have another one. AJ Hem's got his second of the quarter, and they're out to a 40-point advantage.
Yeah, the 5th in a row for the Rovers. The 2 last in the first quarter and the first 3 in this one. Loxton going to have to work something out pretty soon. It's a 40-point margin here at Renmark, in the way of the Renmark Rovers. They know how to play this over well, and this afternoon they're showing the Tigers how it's done.
Yeah, Nick Gillard just coming off for a rest here. He's been brilliant. The last 2 goals they've kicked, starting to create a presence. It's not often that he's goalless to this point of the game so far, but yeah, I mean, when you're setting up goals for your teammates, then you can't really ask for much more, and they've got 7. They've got 7 first-half goals so far.
Here on the Value Care scoreboard. Through the middle it goes. Loxton get the clearance up to half forward. The mark wasn't paid. Probably a 50-50 at best. Thorpe off half-back for the Rovers. Had to back-turn. Couple of quick handballs. Manages to find Edwards across half-back. They look dangerous as always. Jenke got a handball forward. And now it's Dan Walford that has all the time in the world and back-turns like a Harlem Globetrotter basketballer. Now the Rovers through Antspatch, but it's been intercepted. Can Loxton make something out of this? They can't. Wrapped up by Stephen Carlon. Great tackle. And we'll get a ball up in the centre square.
Yeah, Renmark, again, Loxton seem to be breaking down a bit at half forward. They're getting a lot of clearances and first hands to the footy, but just that breakdown at half forward, and then Renmark are just so devastating. Wolford able to shake another tackle as he's done so often throughout today. That was Dan. He now heads to Tim. Over to Matt. There's the Wolford trio in full flight. Over to Ricky Garrett now. He'll cross towards half forward. Luke Harder just over his head. Now it comes to Prince, who leans down like the big ruckman does on that occasion, and we'll have ball up about 50 out from Renmark goal.
So Loxton need to find something. It's the Rovers with the advantage. No one able to get the tap. Harder tries to break 3 tackles, but umpire says, nope, I'll have it. We'll go again.
Ambitious to try and break 3 tackles, but yeah, if anyone's going to do it, Luke Harder would probably be the one to do so. So, yeah, another ball up. Josh Vader now trying, the opposition's playing coach trying to find a way through, but he's also unable to do so. Just a bit of a stalemate at the moment.
Yeah, glorious afternoon at Renmark. 5 footy for the Riverland Motor Group. Free kick to Loxton. Bit of a push out there from that ball up. Matt Walford, very, very good at getting the exact directions for the umpire every time. He knew exactly what the umpire said, but he just wanted to triple check because that gives his teammates more time to go and man up.
Yeah, just play the game. As Jake Anspatch takes a nice intercept mark on that occasion. Renmark will look to head up forward again. Anspatch pulls it short. Matt Wolford's had a lot of the ball today so far. Heads inboard and finds Josh Vader. Vader from 55, long ball, and it's going to be marked by Nathan Zunic. That's a brilliant leading mark from a forward. And he's played along the wing this year, but I'm told he was a good forward for a long period of time, as you would know, and he's going to line up for another goal for his second of the day, in fact.
Many goal of the days for Nathan Zunic over the years of five-room football.
Speaking of the goal of the day, I think AJ Hem is the clubhouse leader at the moment for that snap from the pocket moments ago. But, yeah, Nathan Zunic now for their 8th of the day. And his second, no problems at all. Renmark just continuing on their merry way.
So it's the Renmark Rovers with a commanding lead, still yet to hit the 15-minute mark of the second quarter. They're out to a 46-point margin as we speak. Loxton looking for something desperately. What can they do? I'm just looking around the ground at the moment. Lockie Daniel, the coach of the Tigers, what would you do?
Well, I mean, I think it's working in the midfield when they've got Harder there, but I think, and he's now moving there himself, I think you've got to get him to half forward because they're just breaking down at half forward every time they go. I know there's a 6-6 rule in place, but sometimes you sort of have to adapt a bit, and I'd maybe even move one across half back just to sort of stem the bleeding a bit because they've got 4 goals in 13 and a half minutes here, and Loxton just haven't really looked like scoring, just one goal so far today, as Rogan Kennedy's won a free in the centre, and it's over the back. Harder almost taking a brilliant mark off the push of Morgan Edwards there, but unable to do so. Renmark again across half-back. Tim Wolford now over to Jenke, onto Dan Wolford. Backs himself in, got sort of caught as he kicked it. Bouncing ball over the top of the cricket pitch didn't favour Loxton, and that's the sort of day they're having. Now it's Mitch Jenke up towards the 50, but a good mark taken on that occasion. Intercept mark, I think it was... Sure who that
Yeah,
is.
it was James Bougen, number 20. Different number as printed this week.
Yes. They don't help us out when they do things like that.
Unfortunately. But, yeah, as you said, a great defensive mark. Yeah, just back to that point before about breaking down off half forward. To me, they're going to have to look for some drive off half back. This is where Renmark are their most dangerous. They don't really seem to care if they lose the middle because they know they can always get it on half back, whereas Loxton, a little bit at sea.
Yeah, and I think that's where the absence of guys like Shay Lange, Drew Kasolki, Lockie Evans as well, who's missed a lot of the year as well, that if they had those three in, I think, yeah, they'd obviously have their impact. But, yeah, it just seems to be where they're breaking down, where they'd have those guys in. But the Tigers are over the top here. Can Tristan Jackson reel it in? He gets his right foot snap on goal, and it's going to be umpire just deliberating here. Don't know whether we've got.
I think it might have gone out of bounds, is what they're saying. I think the player might have gone out of bounds before he kicked it, but umpire's going to go all clear. Oh no, out on the full it is. Righto, so
no score.
Unlucky for the Tigers there. Yeah, Will Gucci's the other one that's missing from this Loxton side as well. So, so there is some very handy players to come into this side, but it's going to be a bit late to get that team together.
Yeah, and there's a good old saying in footy, availability being your best ability, and if you're not available, then you're not going to be able to provide anything to the team. So, yeah, they're going to have to adapt. But yeah, we've got Matt Smith now on the outer side, who's taken a good mark, and he was a late in, and they're probably going to have a forced change with Alex Haynes, but he's done no harm to his chances. He found Vader here, gets the handball away to Tim Wolford, looking for Jared Rowe, who takes a good mark. About 45 out from home. Is he looking to move it quickly? He is. Oh, it's a floating ball, and it's just landed in the absolute lap of Dan Wolford there, and that just sort of typifies the day, the way this game's going. Loxton don't get a score down the other end, the ball just floats its way into Dan Wolford's lap.
I think Dan Wolford looked at Nick Gillard, and Nick Gillard looked at Dan Wolford, and were both like, oh, who's going to get this one? And then Dan had to turn around quickly and mark it. But they had all the time in the world. It didn't seem to matter. But, yeah, as you said, it sort of just typifies what's going on so far. Ball on the way. Dan Wolford, has he kicked it? He has not. That's a minus score to the Rovers. They take the score out to 8-5-53 on the Value Care scoreboard. 47-point margin at the moment. 17 minutes gone. Second quarter Riverland footy on 5RM for the Riverland Motor Group.
Loxton now at halfback, just trying to create something, really. I mean, yeah, just trying to maybe put a few passages play together. Strong contest over the outer side of Renmark Oval there. Renmark trying to find a way through now, and they have done through Matt Wolford. It gets it away to Dan Wolford, and that's what they do. They just split the game open. They just seems to be blue and white jumpers everywhere, and he's head inside 50, and he's found Nathan Zuniga again, who can line up for number 3.
Yeah, kicking from the grandstand pocket. He's backing himself to kick it. Hasn't looked at any other targets. And quite rightly so, I think. It's probably certainly within his range and distance ability.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough kick from the pocket, but yeah, he'll back himself in. Knows where they are here at Renmark Oval, going towards the Tucker Hall end, and it's on the way, but hangs it out to the left and it doesn't come back. So through for a minor score, and yes, the Rovers now out to a 48-point lead.
This is 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group. Loxton with the kick in. 18 minutes gone, second quarter. No breeze to speak of at all. Get the ball on quickly. Probably what they're going to have to do. If they're going to get a goal, they're going to have to jump Renmark at some point. Which is hard because Renmark are the ones doing the jumping all day so far. Ball now up to the broadcast wing, but it was Anspach that got his hands on it for the mark. It dropped out of his hands, though, and we'll get a ball up. Tristan
Jackson's been a bit of a live wire for Loxton through their limited forward opportunities. He's done a little bit and creating a bit of a spark for them. So if they can get the ball up forward more, he could be one to watch.
Yeah, certainly good at that front and centre in and under type stuff. Tristan Jackson over the years.
Backs himself in.
Renmark managed to get the hands from the clearance, and Jenke, good kick into the 50, looking for a target. Muscled out the way, they can't do it. Loxton back turned in. Is that going to be called high? No, umpire says my ball.
He shaped up the umpire there on that occasion, just as though he was going to pay a free kick, and then said, I'll have it. So about 40 out from the Renmark goal. Ruck's doing the work. Luke Harder over the ball. He's been admirable for the Tigers today, probably been their best so far, trying to get something going for them, but they're unable to do so again. Here's Trevor Thorpe, takes the ball, hands it over to Matt Wolford. He's got a man out wide. He's going to use that now. And it's Matt Smith who goes short, and he's found a man. Oh, is it going to be a 25? No, it's not. I think Luke Harder a little bit lucky there on that occasion, but Dan Wolford, he's a fair way out here. I think he'll look to set this one up.
He was running at full tilt, and it did look like he did try to pull up before, so I think umpire gave that one the benefit of the doubt. Gets the ball on quickly and finds Wolford. That would be Matt. 10 metres around now. He shoots it inside the 50 and finds Smith.
Yeah, they're just toying with them a little bit at the moment.
So Matt Smith will go back for a shot on goal. Should he slot it to be Renmark's 9th of the day. 8 goals so far. 20 and a half minutes gone, second quarter. Riverland footy on 5RM.
Just noticing Josh Vader coming back onto the ground here as the coach of Renmark. His side's got a 48-point lead, 20 minutes into the second quarter. You can't be much happier with that, can you?
Yeah, seeing Morgan Edwards is coming off for a little bit of a rest.
Matt Smith now lining it up from 40. Oh, he hangs it out to the right. It's not even going to score, and it's going to be marked by Loxton deep in the back line.
Yeah, good defensive mark there. I reckon that'll be Carter Wright. We'll double check that in a second. Gets it on quickly and looked for a teammate, but Thorpe for Renmark. Oh, in and under, like you're in a canoe race there. Now Rowe gets a kick away, but it was Salmon for Loxton that marked it. Umpire said touch play on. Declan Johnson quick there to wrap it up. Umpire will ball it up. 45 out, Loxton goal. Approaching half-time here at Renmark. Rucks go up, no one able to take it anywhere, and we'll go again.
I think one of the most dangerous parts, and, well, if you're a Rover supporter, one of the best parts about the way they play is just the way that they can kick goals just at will, really. There's so many contributors that hit the goals. It's not as though they need Gillard to kick 6 every week, otherwise they're not going to win. And it just makes them so devastating. I mean, you look at the list today, he's already got 2. Rhett Perry's had an impact, AJ Hems had an impact, and yeah, it's just so many forward options, which is what you want as a coach.
Yeah, not one key forward as such, just a lot of contributors. Umpires called a push in the back, and it's going to be Loxton with Harder with the free on half back. They wouldn't want to let Renmark score from this, even if that meant they didn't score themselves. I wouldn't have thought, Lockie Dans.
Yeah, just try and get into the sheds at halftime, and I guess you could say there's some lessons you want to take.
Oh, that looks dangerous. It went over the top.
It's going to be a free, or was it touched?
Umpires are going to chat here. Yeah, and that's going to be a free kick to Renmark, just as we said it. So Rhett Perry, the footy in the far forward pocket. 22 and a half minutes gone, second quarter. This is not what you need on half-time. He brings it back in board and finds Matt Wolford. He found a bit of space.
He's running free today. He's been sensational for Renmark, as have all 3 Wolfords. But if I had to, it's always a tough challenge picking who's the best Wolford of the day. I think he's just got the lead over the 2 others at the moment.
Not sure if anyone's ever spoken to the Rovers about becoming planning officers, because they seem to find a fair bit of space. Wolford, ball's on the way. He's happy. And you can add another goal scorer to the Renmark Rovers this afternoon. That's their 5th for the quarter. And they take the lead out to 54 points, round 15. Riverland footy on 5RM for the Riverland Motor Group.
It's not the most highlight goal of the day. and it's probably just one of the more pure goals you'll see. That's a beautiful kick from 45 metres. To coin a cricket term, it's not like a big ramp shot 6 over the keeper or something like that. It's just a nice punch through, and that's exactly what it was from Matt Woolford. And he's, as you say, he's landed them there 5th of the quarter.
Yeah, maybe not goal of the day, very better contender, but certainly in the mix for the Murray Pioneer man of the match this afternoon, Matt Woolford.
But he is, yes. And, I mean, the captain of the Rovers, 24 minutes gone in this second quarter, would be very happy with his side's work to this point as we near half-time.
So 9-6-60 leads Loxton just the 1 goal, 6, 54-point margin. There it is, half-time here at Renmark. Just rattled off the score. It's a comprehensive lead to the Rovers as we take the half-time break. We will go around the grounds and find out what's happening around the place. Trevor Scott in the Connectus Sideline View studio.
2024 Riverland Football League Premiership season on 5RM.
Yeah, second half to come at Renmark, and it is an interesting game. Renmark 9-6-60 to Loxton, one only goal. Lachlan Winnell.
Yep, it's going to be a big second half if the Tigers are going to come back. But crazier things have happened, Trev. We have seen breakdancing make it at the International Interschool Sports Day. Of course, bearing in mind we can't say the actual event, but yeah. So,
I had to giggle. Did you see that performance?
Oh, look, I've only seen the comments, but like I said,
Mate,
it's got to be a bit
watch the
careful.
performance and you will understand it.
Yeah. Anyway, if Loxton do come back from this,
girl.
if Loxton do come back from this, look, it might not be as crazy as some of the sports that we've seen over the years. But anyway, moving on, it's an opportunity now. Lockie Dand, who's alongside me this afternoon, Nobby Norton, regular man, is away today. Just quickly before this game gets underway, it's an opportunity for Loxton now to try a few things and have a bit of a crack.
That's right. You're not going to get many better opportunities to try some things in the lead up to finals than right now. No time like the present, and the present has them 54 points down at half time. So, yeah, let's see what they can conjure up in this second half.
Yeah, Alex Haynes out of the game early. He is set to shoulder injury, but hopefully can return to the competition soon. Ball up in the air, third quarter underway, round 15, Riverland footy on 5RM. It's Renmark that get the first advantage, and Zach Gartree ran onto it. He got one hand on it, but went past it. Now Loxton pick up the crumbs on half-back. They take it wide. Decky Johnson ran around it as well. Now Loxton getting a couple of fortunate bounces early. They take it into their attacking 50. Luke Harder the target, but went straight through, clean bolt.
Just noticed one of the more interesting full-forward setups I've ever seen from Renmark there before. They line up everyone at goal square length or towards the goal square. Of course, only one allowed in the actual goal square per the 6-6-6 rule. But and then as the ball comes in, they all lead up towards it in different directions. It's an interesting setup. So, yeah, so essentially the forward from about the paint of 50 to about 10 metres out was just a spot full of grass, really. But, yes, maybe Renmark trying some new things as well in the lead up to finals, which they can do because they've built this commanding lead.
Well, they might have learned a bit from Berry with the chaos ball in recent weeks, how successful it was. I mean, it wasn't that good last week for Berry, but the weeks prior were good. This ball's still out, and Loxton's attacking 50. They trail by 54 points, just over a minute gone. Third quarter Riverland footy on 5RM. McDonald's Renmark can make it McSmart with the new McSmart meal at Macca's Renmark, supporting local sport. Still around this contest here, that Jesse Will tried to get a handball away and does so. Loxton still with the footy, getting close to the boundary. Will it go over? Umpire says it has, and we'll get a ball in, I reckon.
Yes, and I'm going to call this the scoring end, purely for the fact that this is the end that Loxton scored their one and only goal for the day. So, yes, I'm going to back this to be the scoring end, which is the KM Takasho Hall end, where they play Riverland table tennis now. But at the moment, it's the Rovers and the Tigers doing battle inside the Tigers forward 50, and we'll have the ball up.
Was speaking to a couple of Renmark supporters at half-time, and they've told me you can always call it the hospital end. I went, okay.
That'll work too.
Would have thought it's more the hospital wing here, but either way, a Renmark now with the footy, funnily enough, on the hospital wing. It's a couple of Wolfords through the middle, now back to Vader over the cricket pitch. Kicks up to half forward. AJ Hemmett couldn't quite run onto it, ran around him. Loxton, a big soccer off the deck through the middle, but intercept from Tim Wolford. Now kicks it into the attacking 50. Gillard, the target, unable to mark out a couple of bites at it, but gets the bounce. Wheels around, kicks to the pocket, and finds Brett Perry all on his own in the forward pocket.
That was sensational from Gillard on the non-preferred right boot. Just, yeah, absolutely brilliant turn and just floated it beautifully. The two Tigers defenders got sucked in, and that allowed an open Brett Perry, who can line up for number 3. He kicked 2 goals at this end in the first quarter, and he can kick the first of the second half here. We're right behind him in our commentary position. And he's, well, no other road really than he's sprayed it, so that's out in the full, and yes, the margin remains at 54 points.
Yep, not bothering the scorers on the Value Care scoreboard in that one, but nonetheless still in Renmark's attacking 50. And when it's in your attacking 50, it's not in the opposition's attacking 50, as they say in junior footy circles. Ball now's gone a long way out of bounds. Loxton player has had to run a small marathon to go and get it. Just waiting for this one to come back in. It's been a bit of a few laughs this afternoon here at Renmark.
I think that's Stuart Green there, who is competing in the big sporting event, we'll call it, overseas at the moment. Stuart Green takes a bounce now. Didn't really like anything so he took it on himself, and now heading across half-back. It's a good mark taken, I think, by Carter Wright there. Could be.
Yeah, number 19, Carter Wright, in contention for the Hoops Auto Young Charger Award this afternoon. They're your local ARB Stockiston installer. They flew up for the mark, and there it is. That could be the mark of the day. Jesse Will, look out.
Yeah, I think that could be the clubhouse leader. Hasn't really seen a lot throughout the first half, so yeah, I reckon he's going to back himself in. But Renmark have intercepted the ball. Liam Jackson now about 55 out from the Rovers' goal. He's going to head inside looking for Gillard. Not quite there. Wolford got it back towards Johnson, who went one way then the other. Across to Matt Wolford now. Matt Wolford inside 54 Gillard, and that is just chalk and cheese if you're a Renmark supporter.
Frightening thing for other teams that might be reviewing this footage or, looking at the scorecard or whatever. Renmark have kicked 9 goals already, with Nick Gillard not kicking one of them.
Yeah, it's ominous signs, if really. No other real way to put it, but Nick Gillard now from 50.
Looks good off the boot.
Right.
Oh, it's drifted. That would have been the goal of the day for Barry Better, just on the length, but it's a behind.
9-7-61 Renmark. Loxton still just with that one Jesse Will goal in that first quarter, so yes, they're up against it and they're deep in the back line here as it comes to Evans. That one is Jacob. Hands it off to Harder. Harder looking towards Katsitis. He's got it now.
Yeah. Bailey Bowden still putting in some good efforts for Loxton.
Harley Campbell unable to reel it in. Sporting the new haircut there. Comes now. Oh, he's walked over the line there, has Ryder Montgomery in the opinion of the boundary umpire. And we're going to have a ball in. And I think if you wanted a passage of play to sum up Loxton's day, that would probably just about be it.
I think that was definitely over the line because he was frighteningly close to the cycling track. Exaggerating a bit, but looked like he was very much over the line. Bit of friendly fire there. Josh Vader trying to take the clearance. And great bit of work here from Jacob Evans from Loxton. Manages to find Brock Salmon. Gives it a wobbly old kick into the middle. Can Loxton mop this one up? No, they can't. Trevor Thorpe takes the game on. Does the fend off. Held without it. Ball spills out. Now out the back. Umpires said holding the ball. Free kick Loxton.
Yeah, Renmark supporters, well, I don't think they're angry with it because of the margin in the game, but they certainly don't agree with it as Matt Wolford gets the intercept, gets it towards Vader, where it probably initially all started. Comes now to Dan Wolford, who heads out wide looking for Johnson to run onto it. Bowden was there with him, so he got it away to Garrett, then on to Jenke. He goes back to Johnson, back to Jenke. This is good play by the Rovers. Inside 50 not for Gillard, and it's a good mark by Salmon, who caught one after it and wasn't too happy about it, but he's taken the intercept mark nevertheless. And he's going to get a 25-metre penalty in the end. It looked like the umpire wasn't going to pay it. He sort of paused, but he has paid in the end, and Loxton get an advantage to get out of back 50.
So they still trail by 55 points. 7.5 minutes gone. Third quarter, Riverland footy on 5 room. McDonald's Renmark. A couple of zigzag kicks through the middle. That was marked by De Prince. He got a handball out to Harder. Now back to De Prince. Went to handball and then back to Harder. And gets kick away. Manages to find Brock Salmon. Gets the kick away. It's a wobbly old kick up to half forward. Through the pack it goes. Ryder Montgomery, front and centre, got the crumbs, but smothered by Renmark and Thorpe. Out to Dan Wolford. Handball's inboard, does a bit of a candy sell. Manages to find Tim Wolford through the middle. Loxton now, a bit of courageous play. Nick Katsitis putting in some hard efforts through the middle. And so's Evans. Harder tackled after the play, but play on's the call. Still in the attacking, just over the attacking 50 of Loxton. Tackle to hold it in. Umpire says my ball. Frighteningly close to it in the back, I would have thought there.
Yeah, and also close to too high on Trevor Thorpe there. Like Jesse Will laying that tackle, but no. Umpire said we'll have a ball up, and And we're going to have another one here because Evans is unable to emerge with the ball. He's been pretty good, Jacob Evans, I think. But Luke Hart, I reckon if they had Riverland Football League fantasy or super coach, I reckon he'd be one of your first pick. He's got another kick on this occasion, but his teammate was just muscled under the ball there by Ricky Garrett, and he gets it away to Dan Wolford, and Renmark are off half-back again. Comes to Jenke. He's going to be able to take 2 bounces, can have a third, could even have a fourth here. Doesn't want to, wants to get back inboard to Matt Wolford. He's about 60 out from goal, and he heads to the pocket, and he has found, I think that's Declan Johnson, who kicked 5 last week.
It is a number 33 for the Rovers. He is another one that is eligible for the Hoops Auto Young Charger Award this afternoon.
Goalless so far, but as I did just say, 5 goals last week, so, and yeah, he knows where they are in this level. We had a pretty good year playing that small forward role. Sometimes it's can be one of the tougher positions on the ground. But, yeah, he's going to line this one up. And I don't know if he's got the distance in the end, as Braden DePrince is going to be awarded the mark.
That's a great defensive mark from the Loxton ruckman / defender.
Out of Hope Valley last year. Been pretty good for them this year. I think, yeah, they've enjoyed having his presence in the ruck as Tigers now down the line they go. And it's going to be off the chest of Jake Hanspatch and out for a throw-in right in front of us in commentary position here.
Yeah, 10 minutes gone, third quarter, Riverland footy on 5-0 for McDonald's Renmark, and you can make it mix smart. Then you mix smart meal at Macca's. So ball in, umpire bringing this one a long way in, which is great to see. Harder read that well front and centre, but he was wrapped up quicker.
Two playing coaches combined there. Harder running into Vader.
Getting a hard tag around the contest from Morgan Edwards. Yeah, doing a great job, actually. So you got to do it because he can certainly tear a game apart. Rogan, Loxton, Harley Campbell gets a kick away. Loxton now into their attacking 50. Can they make something from this? Carter Wright bombs it long. Jesse Will, can he run on for goal number 2? It bounced over his head. He was held. Umpire says play on. And Loxton just Renmark just clear that one out. And we've said it a few times, but if that just sums up your day, I don't know what does, because Loxton were almost certainties for a goal then.
That's very unlucky.
And nothing.
Very, very unlucky for Loxton there to not receive a free kick deep in the forward line. It would have been a certain goal. He's in the goal square.
Or even the goal to start with.
Yeah.
Jesse Will just had to just get a toe onto it, and it would have wobbled through.
Oh, well. But, yeah, Renmark now 52 out from goal, and they're going to head inboard. Zunic unable to take the mark. Tim Wolford got a handball over Matt Smith, who's caught. And we're going to have a ball up. I thought the play that sent Loxton inside 50, that pick-up and the left foot chiseler from Harley Campbell was terrific as well, showing his skill today. As Nick Gillard, left foot snap off the pack. He's got his first. Renmark eventually at the 12-minute mark of the third quarter have the first of the quarter, and they extend the lead to 61 points.
Yeah, and that's the very better goal of the day, I think. Now, we have a new leader for that award. Nick Gillard, his first goal of the game. Renmark's first for the quarter, first for the half, and that would be the Renmark Rovers. Let me do some quick maths here. 8th in a row.
Yeah, look, I mean, that really sums up how good they've been today. Renmark, they're just, firing on all cylinders, really.
I've seen a lot of Barmer and Monash this year. I've seen a few Wakery games as well. Well, I've seen them all. To Renmark are hitting form at the right time of the year. Back in the middle it is. Loxton tried to get the clearance, but Ricky Garrett for the Rovers gets it out to Morgan Edwards. Morgan Edwards back on board to Garrett. Garrett now going for the switch. Sees Gartrey in the middle. Oh, great mark. And Garrett's back in it again. Now to Tim Wolford. Tim Wolford inside 50. Zunic, can he get underneath it? He can. Oh, that's a courageous mark against the flight of the ball. Great mark in the forward pocket from Nathan Zunic. Gets the ball on quickly. Finds Tim Wolford straight in front. 25. He'll kick from about 30 out.
Yeah, Rovers sharing the love now. But, look, I think that was just about the mark of the day from Nathan Zunic back with the fly. That was terrific. As looks like the interchange gates are in full swing for Renmark now. But, they're going to line up for their 11th of the afternoon through Tim Wolford. Hits it pretty high. Has it got the trip? Does goal umpire say? Yes, it does. Another goal at the quarter to Renmark. They extend the lead to 67 points with their 11th of the afternoon.
There it is. The Renmark Rovers certainly going to be a very hard team to beat come finals. Their 11th goal, as you pointed out, it's a 67-point margin at this point. 14 minutes gone. Third quarter Riverland footy on 5RM. Realistically, this could be on for the ton.
Oh yeah, more than so. I mean, they've got 11 goals to 1, and we're 14 minutes into the third quarter. It's probably about roughly the way this game's going today. About 10 minutes left of game time in this quarter, and then another one on top of this. So, yeah, look, Renmark are more than boosting the percentages at the moment. Oh, Liam Jackson just sort of lost his footing. I think he's hurt himself here.
He's
not
down
sure
on the deck.
What happened there? He just sort of, Vader now from 55. He looks deep, and it's over the head of Rhett Perry. And he's back onto it, going one way, then the other. Nathan Zunic picks up the footy, heads back in board. And the mark is not going to be paid there to Tim Blight.
So at full tilt. Liam Jackson now off the deck. He's getting helped off by one of the trainers.
He just sort of went one way, then the other. His sort of legs didn't really want to work with him the way he was trying to jump towards the footy. But, yeah, Matt Wolford's giving him a few words of advice along with the trainer. He's obviously going to come off the ground as the ball's still cannoning around the Renmark forward 50. But, yeah, this could be a big story for Renmark. He hasn't kicked one today, but he's had a really good year back in the ones this year. And, yeah, this could be a big story.
So still inside the attacking 50 for the Rovers. Spills out. Sabin now. Loxton, can they manage to get this one clear? They can't. Umpire says my ball. Jackson now up to a bit of a small jog as he comes off. We'll follow this one. Declan Johnson coming back on. Only off the ground for a couple of minutes. Just on 16 minutes gone, third quarter. Riverland footy on 5RM.
Swiping down the massage table here at Renmark Oval, so we'll have to see what is the story of Liam Jackson here. But the good news is, as you say, he is walking around. So Loxton trying to remove the ball from defensive 50 here. Beavis went after it. Josh Vader emerged with it. He got it away. Now it comes to Trevor Thorpe over the top to Matt Wolford. That lovely left foot kick. Looking for Gillard. Punched away from him. Bailey Bougen got a kick away to a spate of Rovers, and one of them is Trevor Thorpe, who goes backwards to Tim Wolford. It's going to be a free kick. It's going the way, I think, of Loxton. It's off the ball. I'm not too sure what happened. I was a bit ball watching on that occasion.
No, I didn't catch that one either. So Ryder Montgomery's got the free broadcast wing, kicks it, but it's intercepted straight away by Mitch Jenke of the Rovers. So free kick, almost null and void. Now to Vader, across to Dan Wolford, and the Rovers are going to go on the run. Oh, Dan Wolford he does now. He gets tackled by Bougen. Got a wobbly old kick out. Umpire says play on. Back in board. Gets the crumbs again. Drifting towards the scoreboard side, but the Tigers, well done. I reckon that's Carter Wright. Took the game on. He got a handball away. Play on's the call. Rovers fans are calling for holding the ball, but it's found Jared Rowe, broadcast wing. Went to play on, and Montgomery just over the mark.
I actually think Jared Rowe sucked the umpire into that. I think he was ready to move and then pointed it out, and the umpire went, you're right.
That's all right. He's been around a while, Jared Rowe. He knows what's going on.
He's found a target, and it's Tim Wolford who can line up for his second in a row.
Yeah. No, that was a good bit of play from Jared. I like that. I'm on board with those tricks.
Yeah.
You got to use them, You got to use them. I don't. It's not cheating.
When you know the way of the rules and you know the way of how the Riverland Football League works, which he does after 250 games, you've got to use all of your weapons that you've got available to you, and it's worked. As Tim Wolford,
Ball's
goal
on the
umpire
way.
Does not move, and that is Renmark's 12th of the day. Tim Wolford's got his second in a row, and they lead by 73.
So a couple of Rovers going into the Matt Wolford going into the change rooms, which I don't know. He didn't seem too worried. I don't think he's packing up for the day, but he almost could.
Well, captain of the side, I suppose you've got those rights, do you? When you're the skipper, you can sort of do what you like, as long as you run it past the playing coach, Josh Bader.
Yeah, 18, or just short of 19 minutes gone. 12 goals, 7, Renmark 70. They lead by 73. The Loxton Tigers, just the one goal, which they kicked in the first quarter. They've been scoreless since then. Rowe in the middle, gets a soccer or gets a kick away, but it's intercepted by the Tigers. Goes back the other way, and just to find Jacob Evans, probably been one of Loxton's best this afternoon.
Had a really good quarter, as Jacob.
And drops short of DePrince, but DePrince sells some candy and then kicks it through the middle. Manages to find the other Evans of Caden. Caden now kicks to the forward pocket. Can Loxton make something from this? They want to walk away from a trip to Renmark with something. I'm sure they'll have a good time regardless, but nonetheless, on the field, probably where you want to do most of your work. Renmark intercept off half-back, and Dan Wolford again. He'd be getting up there for the man of the match for the Murray Pioneer. Now it's Zunic. Zunic takes the game on. He dragged his player in, but then didn't need to worry about it. Kicks up to half-forward, intercept by Riley Walton, and there's going to be a free kick paid here. Dangerous tackle called. And it's going to be Loxton with the free. Gets the ball on quickly, finds Salmon in the middle. That's Luke. Luke's looked for a target. Finds Montgomery in the middle.
The Rovers fans weren't too happy with that, but I actually, to play devil's advocate, I actually thought it was a good call by the umpire. I thought he got dumped, and I actually thought he took the mark, so it must have been touched off the boot.
Yeah, the good call of the day. Well, that's the thing. If someone's head hits the deck in any type of tackle, it's a dangerous tackle now.
Yeah.
That's what you have to think. And that's what happened. Maybe not intentional, but if that's what happens, if that's the result, that's going to be a free.
Yeah, it's an outcome-based thing. It's not based on intention. So Loxton now up towards the wing. Evans is caught by Edwards, and we'll have ball up. As Evans has just sort of grabbed his head there, but I think he just might have had a bit of sweat in his eye or something. So another ball up. Gardery the tap, and he's been really good today, only as far as Harley Campbell. Just reading it best. He goes up towards Jackson, who went for a bit of a high fly. No mark taken. Tristan Jackson able to shrug the tackle, and then he got legged, I think. Yeah, he did get legged in the end. I think Edwards just sort of dived, and all he caught was ankle in the end. So Tristan Jackson's probably about, what do you say, maybe 60 out from home. So he's got to try and obviously going to have to find a target. He's too far out to score. Heads inboard and cut off straight by Josh Vader, who wants Zunic, but marked by, I think that's Bougen. And he tries to cut it up towards Luke Harder, who gets out in front, takes a good mark. He's 55 out from home. Can he find a target? Picked up by Evans on the bounce. Towards the pocket. Loxton have got the numbers, and they've spoiled each other in the end.
Yeah, it's just it's an experience thing. A couple of young Tigers both thought they were in the right spot, and no one called them in. So, unfortunately, the Rovers, intercept from Montgomery. Loxton, they still might have a crack at this. Back to Evans. Kicks it on quickly. Finds a teammate in the pocket. That's Salmon. Inboard to Montgomery. Drops a little bit short. Cale Smith in there. He manages to mark it somehow. You might be calling for the third umpire if that was cricket. He gets the kick away to the forward pocket. And intercept from the Rover defenders. And the Rovers will go on their run again.
There's your three-quarter time siren. Renmark 12-7-79, leading Loxton one straight six. The Tigers sort of stemmed the flow a little bit of the Rovers in that quarter, just the 3 goals won, but and tried to create some passages of play themselves, but another scoreless quarter in the end, and Renmark finding themselves 73 points ahead.
Yep, it's been a day for the Rovers so far. We'll go back to the Connectus Sideline View studio with Trevor Scott and find out what's happening around the grounds. Trevor Scott.
The local on footy's home ground, 5RM.
So we'll go back to the boys over there at Renmark, which is a bit of a game at the moment, 12-7-79 to Loxton's 1 goal. The other score that did come through is that Waikerie 8-4-52 to Berry 1-2-8. No change, I think, at three-quarter time. I'm just waiting for that to come through, Lachlan.
Thanks for that, Trev. Yeah, it's a big gamer right here at Renmark, particularly if you're a Renmark Rovers supporter. I tell you what, tuning up for finals, I think that's an understatement. 12-7-79, leading Loxton just the 1 goal. Loxton in their positions to get this quarter done because I'm pretty sure they're keen to get home. Renmark, they're taking their time at three-quarter time, and the supporters around the Rover huddle, they got a bit of don't they?
Yes, they do, and it does look as though Liam Jackson is done for the day, walking around without his footy boots on, which will signal the end of anyone's day. So they're going to be without him in the last quarter, but what they are going to be with is a 73-point advantage. I'll tell you what, I'm not much of a mathematician, but it's easy to work out to the margin today. Just the 1 Loxton goal so far, but see if they can put a few through more and try and take something a little bit more out of this game and try and,
Yeah, Jesse Will, the goal scorer for Loxton in the first quarter. He did that in the 13th minute mark. Loxton scoreless since then. Fourth quarter underway. We'll get some around the ground scores in a second. We'll just watch this tap. Loxton tapped the ball wide through the cricket pitch, and they've got a bit of spirit about them. Look at this. Gets the clearance away. That was one of the Evans lads up to half forward, and that finds the number 5 of Harley Campbell.
Yeah, he's about 60 out from home. He gets onto the left, and it's, unable to be marked by Evans. Jackson went past it. Evans tried to reel it in. Trevor Thorpe's caught, and there's about 6 people that dive on him, and we'll have a ball up about 20 out from the Tigers' goal, which we haven't had a lot of today.
We'll just stay with this for a second because the Tigers could be on for their second scoring shot of the day. We don't want to miss it. Hasn't been too... Oh, and Jesse Will through the pack. He slots it. 2 from 2. 100% efficiency. Jesse Will. Loxton's best this afternoon, if nothing else. There's a few other contenders, but when you kick your team's only score, you'd have to be in the mix, one would have thought. We'll go around the grounds. Trev, what have you got? We didn't want to miss that one.
No, fair enough too. So Loxton North 4-3-27 to Barnwell Monash 11-5-71, and Waikerie now 13-7-85, as you said, LD. Berry 3-3-21. So yeah, there's a bit of a percentage game coming up now at Waikerie.
So the Magpies 64 points ahead, and yes, that's who the Tigers are going to meet in that first elimination final. So yeah, a bit to play out before then, including this last quarter and the Roos. Yeah. Firming themselves up with a 44-point lead out of their trip to Renmark next week as Renmark's playing coach Josh Vader out of the middle, heading towards half forward, no mark taken. Zunic got a little step towards half forward, but it's going to be cut off by Riley Walton, who heads across the ground looking for Bougen, who's unable to take the mark, but Jared Rowe was there. He heads inside 50, no mark taken. Zunic put his head over it, got caught. AJ Hem got a soccer to it. It's going to be rolling towards full forward. It's a one-on-one battle. Johnson was able to keep his feet, hands it over to Gillard. Gillard now to Zunic. Can Zunic go for home? He doesn't. He goes back to Gillard. Umpire played not far enough. Gillard didn't have a right foot. And Gillard has missed. Wowee.
Oh, I tell you what, if you weren't 70 or 67 points up, you wouldn't be laughing, but because you are, you can have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, look, I think...
That was the OH&S video showing you not how to lift something. That was how to not kick a goal. It went through the behinds. It wasn't a goal.
Yeah.
Zunic should have had the shot, and then Gillard should have also kicked it once he had it. But anyway.
That's right. And, well, yeah, look, you probably need a right foot on that occasion, but, it doesn't, as you say, it doesn't overly matter. Harley Campbell caught on this occasion, got a handball out. Tigers work the boundary line with art, can go down the line, no mark taken, and bouncing off the chest of Cale Smith, who has been swung forward in this last quarter, Lockie Winnell.
Yeah, Riley Walton running down the wing there. He's put a solid effort in this afternoon. So individually, there has been some glimpses for the Tigers. If you're a supporter, I wouldn't be writing him off just yet, but going to be a bit of soul-searching these next couple of weeks. Front and centre they are for the contest. It was Rogan Kennedy, got it out to Harder, went back inboard to Maylor. Now it's in the middle with Bailey Bowden. Kicks inside 50, looking for Evans, he's got it. Good mark, Caden Evans.
I think he's too far out to score. He's going to go from 55 towards full forward, and Jesse will. I don't think he was really ready for it as of yet, and Tim Wolford was able to take an easier to set mark before fending it over to Jenke.
Yeah, Renmark's defensive zone. Some of these young Tigers, they're seeing teammates and they're getting it on the boot quickly, but they haven't picked up that there's a couple of rovers in front. We've seen that a few times today, and that's just an experience thing.
Yeah, I mean, as we've said throughout the day, if they have the likes of Lockie Evans, who is watching on, I've seen today, and Will Gucci up forward, that might have helped them out a little bit. Shay Langley might have stopped a few goals, just to name a couple of Tigers missing. Here's Harley Campbell, who's taken high, and he's going to win the free.
Yeah, that was there.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't sure if the umpire paid advantage, because he did have a flying shot, which went nowhere, but he's going to have a tough shot from the pocket, but pretty talented youngsters, so you'd back him in, I think.
Yeah, he's been one of Loxton's promising stars in the last couple of years. Still pretty young. I don't think he'd be over 20 yet. So, certainly a player for the future at the Tigers, that's for sure. So he's going to go for a shot, kicking from the pocket. It's a fair angle, but he's backing himself in. No one from Loxton's leading for it.
Looks like he wants to go the drop punt, which is an interesting decision. Let's see, shapes around for the snap. Goes with the left foot. It's up towards the top of the goal square. It's punched away. Rogan Kennedy couldn't quite. Wolford handball all the way back, and the umpire has paid deliberate. And so Loxton will get their third goal of the day, you would think.
Yeah, that was Harry Beavis with a massive handball through the behind. You could argue there was a teammate there, but umpire says no, and it'll be a free kick to Loxton.
Look, to be honest, you can't handball the ball past the goal square unless you're under a significant pressure, which is the rule. Jesse Wu, I think, was actually thinking about lining up for his third and Loxton's third of the day, but ball's going to come to Ross Romeo here, who's, yes, he's showing some signs up forward in his return to the A-grade lineup today, and from directly in front, about 15 out, kicks their third of the day.
So the Tigers so far winning the quarter. They've brought the margin down to 61 on the Value Care scoreboard, but it's still very much a day for the Rovers. Renmark now just, going through the motions isn't the right way to say it, but you know what I'm trying to get at. They don't want any injuries in this quarter, and they're just going to sit on this and just ride it out.
Yeah, look, I think you're absolutely right. They've actually had a couple of sore boys today, despite this big win. Of course, Alex Haynes in that first quarter had that shoulder injury, and which we think it's a shoulder injury at this point in time. But yeah, we'll have to get the full story on that one. And of course, Liam Jackson is off the ground at the moment and has been in this last quarter. So yeah, a bit to play out there, but he might just be a little bit sore because he does look to be moving around okay. So yeah, a bit to play out, but we'll see how we go as AJ Hem intercepting the ball here, gets the handball back to Wolford, who looks towards half forward. Matt Smith just pulled up a little bit short. There's a few sore, tired players out here on Renmark Oval at the moment. As Harley Campbell, that's a terrific pickup. Shrugs a tackle, left foot kick over the top. Tristan Jackson should be able to run onto this. Can he get the bounce? He can. Wants to get back in on the right boot. Had the kick smothered. Probably another one who needed the left foot on that occasion. Oh, Matt Wolford, the ball didn't quite come back to him. Tristan Jackson gets the smother. And now it comes over to Harley Campbell, who's caught. And we'll have a... Oh, he's going to pay hold of the ball.
Yeah, he did the fend off. It was a half attempt, but umpire says he had a shot of getting rid of it.
You're happy with that call?
It was more the attempt. If he just took the tackle and didn't try to fend it off, I think he might have got away with that. But it was that fend-off attempts that young Harley Campbell did that I think triggered the holding the ball. Yeah. It's just counterintuitive, I know, but it's the way the interpretation is these days.
Yeah, that's right. You fend it off, then that's considered to be your opportunity to get rid of the ball, even though it's not always easy to dispose of it with one hand, but that's what the rule is. So
through the middle now, a couple of link-up handballs over the top of Harry Beavis, but he's got enough time to regather it, gets a handball to space, gets it back somehow, and now Riley Walton for the Tigers gets kick away. It looks Cale Smith, clean bowled. Through the middle's Morgan Edwards for the Rovers. He does a kick along the deck. Doesn't matter because Nathan Zunich's got pace and finds a row all on his own inside the 50. And he is going to go back for a shot on goal. You just can't leave players like that unchecked because he will find the space.
That was very impressive by Matt Smith. That speed, the way he just hit that ball, he didn't even break stride. Even right through to when he kicked the ball to Jared Rowe, who I'll back him in from this spot about 30 out, slide angle, and he's drilled it.
That's a lovely goal.
And he's been one of their best today, and that caps off his afternoon with his second goal.
So the Rovers now out to 13 goals on the Value Care scoreboard. Margin back out to 67 points. It hasn't been a day for the Tiger. It's certainly been one for the Rovers. Rovers next week take on Barmah Monash, fellow premiership contender, a grand final replay from last year. Both sides locked into those top two positions, so be interesting to see which teams line up next week.
Yes, it will. Well, Renmark might have a couple of outs, as we've spoken about, and we'll have to get the full word on how Barmah Monash have fared today. They're doing a fair job on the Panthers, but yeah, there's a bit to play out there. As Harry Beavis now across half-back over to Dan Walford, now on to Vader. He sends them towards half-forward, and he's found Nick Gillard, who wants to go, wheels around onto the left foot. Trevor Thorpe's leaked up forward, and he's going to take a mark. And this will get a cheer from the Rover supporters in game 301. Of course, celebrated that 300th game in that thumping win over the Demons last weekend. And, they'll be pretty happy with this. The Renmark supporters, we can kick this goal.
No intention of stopping either, too, Trevor Thorpe, and just keeps going. Good to see. Because unless someone's pushing you out for your spot, stay in there as long as you can.
That's exactly right. And
ball's on the way.
Hung that out left, and that'll be a minor score. So
I might have jinxed that.
Cue the celebrations.
No, certainly still very much a valuable contributor to the Rovers side. That's for sure. So Loxton with the kick in. They're out to a 68-point margin now on the Value Care scoreboard. 5-run football for McDonald's Renmark. Loxton up to broadcast wing, but intercept from Morgan Edwards. Inboard, finds a teammate in Tim Wolford. Tim Wolford chips over the top to Dan Wolford. He had Matt running past. He burnt him for the handball, though. There might be a chat after. Tim goes himself around the corner, up inside 50, and great mark from Gillard.
Yes, certainly was, and yes, this will remarkably put the Rovers back in, put them in the lead of the quarter. And they can just starting to really firm up as a premiership contender, and I think after today's performance, they will obviously remain at the top of the ladder, as that is another goal to Nick Gillard, but they're my premiership favourites at this point of the year. Not sure about you, but I can't see any reason why they shouldn't be people's premiership favourites to this point of the year.
I know Barmah Monash have got a couple of wild cards up their sleeve, but yeah, for me at the moment, the Rovers are certainly the more consistent performers, particularly in these last 4 or 5 rounds.
Yeah, and Nick Gillard, his second of the day. It's been such an even spread of goal kickers. Like Zunich's got 2, Tim Wolford's got 2, Jared Rowe's got 2, Nick Gillard's got 2, Rhett Perry's got 2, AJ Hem's got 2. So, yeah, they'd be pretty happy with that, Renmark.
Back in the middle it is, 12 and a half minutes gone. Umpires called a free kick to Renmark. A bit too high in the contest there. Not sure who gave it away, but handballs quickly around the back, does Gartree to Dan Wolford, shoots the footy wide. It's a short kick, doesn't matter because the Rovers have got all the time in the world. Tim Wolford now bombs it inside 50. That's gone over the pack. And Loxton tried to pick up the crumbs. A wobbly kick off the deck. Not sure who that was. I was blinded by it. Bounces back. Now Gillard's got it. Goes to the pocket, wheels around the corner and finds a teammate in the square. That was
Matt Smith, who dropped the mark. Recovered, snapped on goal and put it through.
So Matt Smith adds his name to the list of goal kickers this afternoon. You might need another page for these goal kickers this week in the Murray Pioneer out Wednesday. Comprehensive Riverland footy fix. That is a lot of goal kickers.
Yeah, it is. I think we're up to about 9 or so individual goal kickers at the moment.
For Loxton, it's Jesse Will with 2.
Ross Romeo got their third in this quarter. But, look,
just,
the Rovers
just a 3 for the day.
Humming away beautifully. I think they'll be very happy and, they'll celebrate hard into the evening for this one.
Still thinking about finals. In the middle it is. Rogan Kennedy clears it out up to their attacking 50, but intercept from Tim Blight. Gets a kick out to Dan Walford. Trev Thorpe screaming for it over the top. He's got a bit of space. Wheels it back inboard. Finds AJ Ham in the middle.
Been impressive today.
Yeah, he goes back the other way, up inside 50, drop short of Gillard, through the packet goes. Doesn't matter because that's going to wheel through. Gillard, has he slotted that? I think he has.
Oh, that is the very better goal of the day. You can,
That's the very better goal of the day, you're right.
That's one of the very better goals of the year from Nick Gillard.
It went past Matt Smith. Gillard was out the back. He took the ball wider than he had to and then kicked around the body. No one home from Loxton, and it just bounced through. Like a beautiful bit of leg spin.
Oh, I mean, you can't ask for much more than that, really, can you? They've now got 15 for the day. They're,
4 for the quarter. Gillard with 2, Smith 1, Rowe 1.
Gillard's now got 3 for the day too.
Takes the score out, the margin on the Value Care scoreboard out to 73. Rovers looking pretty dangerous, getting close to finals. Loxton get the clearance up to half forward, but that's about as far as it went because the Rovers, good tackle from the young Tigers there in Campbell rather. Through the middle, they will try and work this one out through Rothy. Now harder, inside 50. Over the top of Jesse Will it went. And Renmark on halfback. They've done this all day, just got so many numbers. Got the fitness, back and board to Harry Beavis. Went to go one way, then went the other. Finds Edwards in the middle. The Rovers are just going to count this one down. 16 minutes gone, fourth quarter. Nothing stupid would be the calls, I would have thought, from Coach Josh Vader at this stage. Gartrey back in board to AJM. He went to go one way and then goes the other way. Fooled his teammate, finds Rowe on a lead. He's marked it, he's claimed it. And there's a few Rovers supporters having a chuckle. Gets the kick away up to inside 50, the Rovers. Loxton managed to get their first good tackle from Gillard. Another couple of tackles, and umpire says my ball. Get a ball up, 50 out from the Rovers' goal.
This is just one of the more professional performances you'll see from Renmark. Just so many vital cogs turning in this machine that they operate with. As Josh Vader, the coach, hands it over to Walford, who lines it up. Not sure it's going to get there. It's not, and it's actually not even going to score. We're going to have a kick in for Loxton because there was no touch on that ball.
It was the Dan Walford variety there. So 16 at 9. I want to check the Value Care scoreboard here and find out what the score actually might be because my sums are a little bit different. But either way, we'll work out that one in a second. Ball on the deck, 70 out from the Rovers' goal, and we'll get a ball up.
What we do know is that Renmark are a long, long way ahead of the Tigers in this one. As Gardery taps down to Rowe. He kicks towards half forward. No mark taken in the contest there. Salmon got away through. He's played well for Loxton today. Kick fashioned out of the back half. Harder on the pickup. He's been probably one of their best as well. Hands now to Brock Salmon. Oh, his kick is off the side of the boot. That's going to be out in the full. Trevor Thorpe will bring it back into play. So, Renmark, long, long way ahead as Rocky gets calculator out.
16 goals. Yeah, 16-8, 105. That is the score.
Okay, so we're going to back in the big scoreboard here at the Renmark Ovals. Trevor Thorpe will send this ball inside the attacking 50, you would have thought. No, he goes across the ground and wants a teammate in Mitch Jenke, who crosses the ground and, is that going to be a 25-metre penalty? No, said the umpire. Wolford goes short. He finds Johnson. He thought about, that was Tim Wolford who gave it to Johnson. Dan Wolford wanted the hand pass. Johnson didn't provide it. Harder unable to take the mark on that occasion. Ball through the 50. Matt Smith strolls through for another goal. Renmark continuing on their merry way. They land their 17th.
It's been a big day for the Rovers. Matt Smith with another goal. And they take the score now out to 111. Loxton 3-1-19. If you're tuning in today, it hasn't been a day for the Tiger. They made the trek to Renmark Rovers headquarters. They used to call this Rover Park back in the day.
Okay.
I was told never to use that name again for whatever reason. I don't know. They're trying to trademark the kennel here.
Oh,
I think it's already gone.
I don't mind the dog track with the track around the ground here. Watching a bit of Ted Lasso, but I'll have to get a name for them.
I think the Renmark Oval does need a name.
Yeah.
A nickname, that is.
Yes,
it does have a name, the Renmark Oval.
Yeah, that's right.
Just short of 20 minutes gone. Ball back in the centre. Loxton take it up to half forward. They've been pretty good at that today, getting it to half forward, and they're going to get a free here for Rogan Kennedy. He goes wide, looks for Evans.
That's
Caden.
Caden, yes.
23, one of the young Charger contenders for Hoops Auto, your local ARB stockist and installer. Gets it on quickly, yeah. Just going a little bit, eking closer to goal. And it looks like he's backing himself for a shot here. He'll be kicking from all of 50 on a fair angle. Tristan Jackson went on the lead, but ignores that.
20 and a half gone in this last quarter. Rogan Kennedy will kick from 50 pretty well directly in front of the scoreboard position here. Or the commentary position, I should say. It's not going to have the journey. Harder came in from the side. And in the end, it's punched through for a minor score.
The margin back down to 90. Loxton now out to 3-2-20 on the Value Care scoreboard. Renmark 17-9, 111. Multiple goal scorers, multiple angles, ways to goal. Going to be a pretty hard unit to stop. Rowe now inboard, finds Beavis. Handballs quickly to Wolford. He had to handball quickly. He was under pressure from Campbell. Back to Wolford. That's Tim. Goes wide, finds a teammate on his own. Shoots it up the eastern chute. Dan Wolford runs onto it, kicks into the 50. Long, marked in the pocket. Or was it out of bounds?
No, it's going to be marked by Rhett Perry. Oh, has he played on? No. He thought about it more than once. He doesn't look too confident, but that being said, I'm going to back him in to try and land Renmark's 18th of the day and get them that little bit closer to that. He wanted the hand pass again. So he really doesn't want to have this shot, but...
Umpire says he's got it. Yeah. Gillard had it in his hands, but umpire says, no, take that one back. Gives himself a couple of metres. Oh, he slots it.
Rhett Perry kicks his third. He's been impressive for Renmark today. And, yes... I suppose the one thing that Josh Vader and Matt Wolford and the other selection committee members have to think about is the competition for spots in this Renmark lineup, because the late inclusion, Matt Smith's been really good, involved in that passage of play leading towards that goal as well. He's got a couple of his own. Perry's got 3. And Alex Haynes is going to be out of the side. So that's probably the only problem for Renmark, but if you're going to have a problem, that'll be the one to have.
They're going to have a couple back from West Adelaide under 18s. Just checking the Value Care scoreboard quickly. That's now 18 goals for the Renmark Rovers. They lead by a phenomenal margin of 97. Loxton 3-2-20. The Value Care scoreboard. Back in the middle, 23 minutes gone. It's going to be a long quarter because there's been lots of goals. Loxton through the middle, through Evans. Jacob out to Bougen. Back in board to Harder, still in the square. Went to play on, but Jared Rowe was there. It's been everywhere today. Through the middle, that's Rothy. Handballs quickly back to Harder. Harder drives up to half forward, a booming kick. Rogan Kennedy couldn't mark it. It was spoiled by Edwards of the Rovers. Back in board the middle it is, and Digan Rothy manages to mop that one up. Shoots it wide. Evans, the target. Caden wheels around, kicks to the pocket. He's got a teammate there, but too many Rovers were as well. Matt Wolford goes the shepherd, tackles the Tiger player of Josh Marlaw, and we'll have a ball up just on the painted 50. Loxton ends. Time ticking down in this one, a game that Loxton would rather forget.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Renmark can crack the ton here with 24 minutes gone. I don't think they're going to, but Marlaw keeps the ball alive, wants to head inboard. It's bounced over the header of Brock Salmon, and Johnson gets onto the ball. Court managed to get it away to Beavis, across to Josh Vader, pushing it out wide towards Trevor Thorpe. He's going to pick it up on the bounce. 3 Tigers swarm on him, but he gets the ball away only as far as Josh Marlaw, who worked pretty hard to take that intercept mark, and he can go short to Luke Salmon, who I think's been pretty impressive for Loxton today, and be one that's held his head high despite the amount of times that ball's come in towards him along with Stuart Green. They've been pretty good in the back half of the ground. This comes now to Matt Wolford over the head of Josh Vader, so Harley Campbell should be able to intercept, but Vader wraps him up in the tackle, and we'll have a ball up in the direct centre of Renmark Oval. And another name for this one that the cricketers like to call it, I know, is Blue Tongue Park, so that might be good for the summer, but we might need one for the winter, as the Tigers head inside 50 again, looking for Rogan Kennedy. Had it spoilt away from him. Harry Beavis gets onto the ball. Handball can't quite find the target, but the Rovers were good enough to intercept. Comes now to Zach Gartrey, who's been very good in the ruck yet again. Away to AJ Hem, over to Vader. Now to Dan Wolford, to Trevor Thorpe. Can they get one last goal for the road? Looking towards Jared Rowe. It comes now to Tim Blight, pushes his opponent under the footy. Lines up the goal! And that is going to put the cherry on top of Renmark's seriously impressive display.
Yep, it's been a day for the Rover. I've said it a few times, but if you're a Renmark Rover supporter, get your travel plans sorted for September, because they are going deep into the finals. It's been a phenomenal display of structure, speed, fitness, skill, everything. Yeah, there's been some Loxton players that have had a crack from time to time, but they've just been outgunned in every department.
Yeah, there's really no other way to put it other than this is a belting. And look, the thing for Renmark is that they've actually only gone and won by, assuming the Tigers don't kick a couple of late goals, they're going to win by over 100 points for the second week in a row. So, and with a trip, they've got Barmera Monash. They welcome Barmera Monash here next weekend. So they're going to come into that one full of confidence, knowing that they can find the goals. And there's been so many goal scorers for Renmark again today. As the Rovers head back inside forward 50. Can they get another one, perhaps? Dan Wolford pushing it out wide. Now Matt Wolford will get back onto that trusty left boot. And, just past Declan Johnson. Luke Salmon again for the Tigers. Takes the intercept mark across half back. And, yeah, I think you're right. They will be very happy when the full-time siren sounds with 27 minutes gone in this last quarter. I reckon this is a contender for the longest quarter of the Riverland Football League season in 2024 as Gillard hands it across to Vader. Got knocked off it. Harley Campbell got it away. Now to Caden Evans. Caden Evans takes a bounce, wants to take on Gillard and does so pretty well. Short ball finds Tristan Jackson. He's 52 out from home. Can the Tigers get a late goal? They're a long way from home. And the full-time siren sounds. That is a comprehensive win to the Renmark Rovers. An absolute thrashing handed out to Loxton. And with just one round remaining now in the Riverland Football League, they have well and truly, I think, moved to everyone's premiership favourite.
Certainly been quite the display here at Renmark this afternoon. What has been a glorious Riverland day. We will cross back to the Sideline View studio. When we return, we'll go through all of our awards and wrap this one up. But the Rovers have sent a statement to the competition today. Trevor Scott back in the Connectus Sideline View studio.
Yes.